Hey folks, my name is Matthew, aka EZBOT, and welcome to another episode of Elektron Talk. I believe this is episode 47. I'm starting to lose track of it. I need to find a better way to keep that organized. Today what I'm going to do is demonstrate a bit of my performance templates for the Elektron Octatrack. I've been feverishly working on several of them. I have more to come. The Octatrack's just so malleable and playable that I've been fortunate to build some templates that people have been enjoying, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I do have some more coming out, some more ideas. There still isn't anything like the Octatrack, so I have more to work with, and hopefully it'll continue to have some life to it, or they come out with an Octatrack Mark III. It's not looking likely, but who knows. I'm going to start off with my newest template. I'm going to demonstrate. It's called the Techno Performance Mixer, and it's an 8-bar template. Switch over to this camera. And what I mean by an 8-bar template is that by default, all the banks and patterns are populated with my performance mixer template, and everything is set to work in 8 bars. All the effects that have self-automation, which is probably about 75% of the effects, they'll automate on their own over 8 bars. If you start at 4 bars into the 8 bars, it'll start halfway through that automation point. If you start at the very beginning, it will start at the beginning of that automation point. So it'll have its deepest depth of effects modulation, and it will work its way up to 8 bars, and then it resets at the beginning of 8 bars. It's really great for doing build-ups or transitioning to new tracks, or for doing an intro, for instance, and I'm going to demonstrate that shortly. Hey, what's going on, Harry? Good to see you. It's a lot of fun. It's really easy to set up. The Techno Performance template works best on the Octatrack Mark II. I do want to point that out. There are some CC messages that make some of the functionality from this template version work on the Mark I as well. The problem with the with using it with the Mark I is that the Mark I doesn't have the Rec 3 button, and which is just kind of a bummer because we want the Rec 3 button, but there is a CC message, so you can use an external controller, or you could route the MIDI back into the Octatrack and trigger it that way. Otherwise, you're going to have a harder time triggering the 8-bar resample loops on a Mark I. What's up, Kinga? Good to see you. Oh, by the way, almost forgot. I'm so bad at this. This stream is sponsored by DistroKid. Let me point that out to you. Check this out. Ta-da! DistroKid. We love DistroKid. DistroKid's been a stream sponsor now for quite some time. Getting to know them on a personal level and IRL, because a lot of DistroKid employees work here in Seattle, and so I'm becoming friends with these folks. I really like DistroKid. I like what they're doing, and we're going to talk about some new stuff that they offer today. So we'll get onto that a little bit later during the stream, but let's get back over to the templates. Okay, so back to the Octatrack Performance template. Right now I have booted up is the Techno Performance Mixer, which is currently available on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/EZBOT. It is also available to purchase if you want to buy it in its state that it's currently at, which is a good state. It's ready to go. You can get that on coffee.com/EZBOT. I've been starting a brand new performance set, live set. I've been taking a couple of months off from playing shows so I could build up a new set of music. Also just to work on other projects, such as developing, my cable company, Modbang. These are my balance cables. You can find them at modbang.com. I got a little discount in the description if you want. I just love live electronic hardware gear. I love that I get to, design new cables and new looks for my gear. I have a lot of fun with this. Or we're making these risers for the Octatrack, and we have some new ones coming out for the Mark II devices, which I'm excited to share. It's going to do some cool stuff. No one's done what we've done with the risers. I'm excited about that. But I love my hardware, and I'm very happy that I've been able to be a part of the community in such a strong way here in Seattle, but in general with the Octatrack Performance templates. I know that they have been, they've been kind of a hit, so to speak. A lot of people use them for their live shows, and, I'm very grateful and honored that people do that. It's really easy to do, and it does amplify your music. I'm going to do a little music demo of some of the effects, and we'll go over some of the features and how you do certain things on the Octatrack, starting with this Techno Performance Mixer template. Hi, Sean Mahoney. Do you have a template for 2 other modules, i.e. the analog rhythm and the digatone? I do not have templates for... I do have a template for the rhythm that works with the Fader Fox EC4. It's not like available. I think I might have it on my Patreon from an old post. I might put it back up there if somebody bugs me about it enough. But it turns your rhythm kind of into a performance mixer, but it doesn't do anything else. It just makes it so you can control the scenes with the crossfaders, or with the potentiometers, because they're endless encoders. So it controls the performance macros. So kind of similar to what we're doing on the Octatrack, but not really. The answer is kind of no. But let me do a little demonstration. So I've been writing some techno. And I think I'm finally learning it. I think I'm finally figuring it out. It's been a real journey for me to learn how to make techno, but I think I've landed on it, and I'm starting to pave my own path through the techno world, where folks aren't going to go, "Yo, that's house. Yo, that's electronica," or "That's dub techno," or whatever. Like, I think that you're just going to go, "Yo, Matt made techno. Good for Matt. Great job." So let me just do a little demonstration of what the template can do, and then we'll kind of just talk about it. So what you just saw was me starting with an intro pattern, which will eventually be our outro pattern. I used a high-pass filter with a delay on it to kind of like move into that pattern. It's an effect that doesn't have any modulation on it, so you can use it whenever you want. There's lots of these effects. Let me show you kind of a build-up here. So that was an 8-bar modulated effect. That is called the hallway riser. That is the very first effect that you'll come in contact with as you start up the template. But there's tons of them, 64 effects in fact here. Here's a half-note looper. Big build-up. Let's go to another pattern. This template is so fun. One of the benefits of working with like these Octatrack performance templates is that as you're writing your music, you get to see what it's like to do a build-up, to do a drop-off, to run it through some cool effects, to run it through a high-pass filter and a delay, or reverb, low-pass filter, a phaser, a chorus. You just get to do it because it's already programmed for you. So you just run your gear into it and just go. You know, it syncs to the clock. You really can't screw it up that easily. The thing you could screw up the most is probably these effects. So in the techno template, you have 3 different beat repeats that you can do at all times as long as you're in this keyboard mode, the delay control. Check this out. Not that you're going to use beat repeats all the time in techno. That's not very common. But you have a master one. Or you have one for each of these input buses. So here's just the drums. And here's just the melody side. We need some more melody. There we go. And then we can do a master of all of it. Pretty sick, right? Cool, right? So that's just like some of the effects in the first part of the template. You switch through the different sections of effects by pressing parts. You can go to space, build, crush, or party, and there's just so many effects. The Techno template has some of its own unique effects that aren't available in the other templates that I have available right now. And that's because it gets rid of the dual looper concept and sticks to just one looper. So let me show you what you can do with the looper and how the looper works. I do have like a full dedicated hardcore Techno Performance Mixer video coming out that I've already recorded. I haven't finished editing it because it took me like 45 minutes to explain it all, and that's a lot of video editing. So that'll be coming out this week, but the template's already ready to go, and I'll show you the basic bare bones about how to do it before we move on to the Ultimate Effects template, which is kind of the most used one that's out right now. So let's go to a new part regardless. We'll go to build. I love this build up is so good. Okay. So I want to record an 8-bar loop and like maybe transition over to a pattern that's at a higher tempo. So like, let's go back over to this pattern. Let's change its tempo to, I don't know, 140, right? This pattern's at 130. We want to get to this pattern, but we don't want to have the, we don't want it to clash. Like we want to smoothly go to the next pattern. So what you'd want to do, and I think this is just a general idea for live electronic music, is that when you're transitioning from one pattern to the next pattern, if you want to keep the music going, eliminate all of the melodic elements from the pattern that you're going to transition to first. So if we're going to go over to this pattern, I might want to take out the bass line so that it's just this percussion right here. This side can have all the melody that it wants. It's not a big deal. The thing is that when you crossfade over to a new track, you don't want to have clashing tones, clashing melodies hitting with each other, because it can sound pretty weird. It can get kind of phasey during the transfer. So just keep that in mind. This is a pretty general rule for live electronic music, and I think all of your bass, you're considering switching over to the 8-bar after years of the 4-bar. Yeah, I've been doing 8 bars on mine, even with the Ultimate Effects template. It can't be changed. You just change it on a per pattern basis. It's not a big deal. And you have a lot different features on the Ultimate Effects template than you have on the Techno template. But we'll get to that in a little bit. 8 bars is definitely the way to go, in my opinion, for writing music. It's definitely helpful for writing more interesting music. It doesn't get boring as quickly. And copying and pasting variations of your 8-bar sections or your 8-bar patterns and just making a variation of that is very useful in making a song grow and inspiring you to continue to work rather than starting a whole new 4-bar pattern, because 4 bars can get old really quick. 8 bars, not so much. So, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to transition over to a new pattern that's at 10 BPM higher than our current pattern. We're going to use the Techno Performance template to do that. It's going to be an 8-bar loop. We can do a little improv during the loop. Anyway, it's great. This is like, if you're playing a show and you want to not have any downtime between your tracks and feel like super smooth, or you want to be able to DJ using your Octatrack as the mixer in between decks or in between whatever else you're using for tracks, this is going to be really useful for you. So check this out. I'm going to hit yes. This is going to arm the recorder. So on the Techno Performance template, you can record patterns 2 different ways. You want to be on track 4 when you do the final button presses. But if you start with yes, you can be in the middle of a track or playing a song and just hit the yes button. It's going to arm the recorder on the next 8 bars. Then you want to make sure that you're highlighted on track 4 and double press rec 3 after your recording is started. So when you see the plus symbol on the flex track, that means it's time for you to hit rec 3 twice. The alternative way of doing this is to be highlighted on track 4 in the first place, hit rec 3, wait for the recorder to start so you see the plus symbol on track 4, and hit rec 3 again. Just after it starts at any point, as long as it's before the end of the 8 bars, it will end at 8 bars and then just start looping that 8-bar segment, and then you can crossfade over to that recording. It's really easy. Let me show you how to do it. So I'm going to hit yes. You can hit yes at any time, whether the sequencer is running or not. When it comes to hitting Rec 3 first, the alternate route I just told you, your sequencer does need to be running, otherwise it just starts recording immediately. So that's not useful. So I hit yes just for the demonstration here. It's recording, you can see it here. And I just need to highlight on this, hit Rec 3 twice. It'll record all my movements too. So that's in the recording, and now I can transition over to that recording. By going to scene 16, scene 16 is always gonna be your transition track, so check this out. I'm in the recording. There it is, there's that automation. All right, now let's transition to that next pattern. It's at 140 BPM. Something to keep in mind, actually, before we transition over, let me tell you about this. When you're transitioning over to a new track and you want to use the performance mixer transition idea like this, unless you're going to do it how I used to run the Octatrack, which is less intentional and more improv, which is just using one pattern and not clocking the Octatrack or moving from pattern to pattern on the Octatrack. What you want to do is make sure that you're on scene 16 in the pattern that you're about to transition to so that it stays in that recorded loop, because scene 16 has that loop on it. Your patterns remember the scenes that you're on. So that's important. An alternate way of doing this is using the arranger and actually changing songs through the arranger. Like, you don't need to be using the arranger and letting it like progress through tracks. You can just set it up to infinitely loop on patterns, but using the arranger to transition, and the arranger lets you select a scene so that when it transitions over to that, it's always on that scene. And this will make it so you don't have to think about anything. You just make it so that it sets the scene to scene 16 when you go to the next track. And you just change tracks by highlighting or by being in an arranger mode and using the arrow keys and hitting yes. It's really nice. It's actually very cool, and I do recommend you give that a shot. But we know that we're on scene 16 in this next pattern. So let's go over here. And let's get out of that arranger. Which is now, what's going on here? Looks like my arranger or whatever killed my MIDI out, which is super weird. Let's see, turn that off, turn it back on. Oh, let's just reload the project. That's an Octatrack bug, which you'll run into if you own an Octatrack. But not a template bug or an arranger. It might be an arranger bug. I don't really know. Okay, so here we go. Let's make sure we're on scene 16 here. Bring the tempo up to 140. And we're on scene 16. Okay, so here we go. We're going to transition over to Octofierce. Yeah, it happens. We're going to transition over to a new pattern from 130 BPM to 140 BPM. So again, let's make sure like no melodic elements are playing. There we go. So we're gonna record this one, hit yes, double press Rec 3, let's grab our recording. Transition over to the recording. Now what we're gonna do is change the tempo. We're gonna bring it up to 140 slowly. All right, we're at 140 BPM. We can transition over to our new song. We're now in the new song, and we can crossfade over to the new pattern. Oh, look at that. There we go. What up, dude? I brought the tempo back to 130 because that's what this song is. And if I change the tempo, because on one of the samples is recorded at a tempo of 130 and the sample will get wacky. So yeah, had to get back to 130 so we could hear the music as it's intended. So this is the Techno Performance template. There are some more features, and let me show you some of the cool stuff that's very specific to the Techno Performance template. So one of them is that on track 8, and this is different from all the other templates, is we have this really short pattern right here. And this is a 2-step pattern. What's up, Hash Bram? Nice. So why this pattern is only 2 steps long is so that the values on the pattern always update. So there are some stuff with the Octatrack and the way that parts work that parts, if you have something associated with a pattern, it doesn't update until that trigger gets triggered, right? If you have something locked into your pattern, it doesn't send that value to the part immediately and update a value. So by having this track be only 2 steps long, you can hold down these 2 steps and go into your filter section here, and you can dial in some filtering if you want. It's actually supposed to be an EQ right here. Here we go. I forgot this is my template, not the OG one. But anyway, so you hold these down and you're able to dial in some values. So this is what you'd want in the template that you have. If you download the Techno Performance template, it'll have an EQ here, just like I have on mine. And right now it says it's going to give a little bit of gain, a little bit of boost in some different places. Oh wait, we want the DJ mixer. Here we go. So here, like if you're playing a show, you can either use this like on a per pattern basis, or if you're playing somewhere and you're like, this doesn't sound good and you can't get to the mixer to change your mix, you can just dial it in here. But also if you're using an instrument that's just like super bassy and there's no way for you to like fix how bassy that instrument is and it's just muddying your whole mix, you just hold down these 2 steps on a per pattern basis and you can suction out some of the lows or boost some of the mids or take some of the lows out, and you can just save that right into your pattern so you have a specific EQ on a per pattern basis, which I think is very cool. The MIDI slots are all free on the templates, yes. You can sequence gear with the tracks, 100%. So this is one of the newest features in the Techno template. It's just being able to dial in this EQ on a per pattern basis. I found it really useful. I've liked that in conjunction with the compressors that are on each one of these inputs. One of them has more RMS setting to it, so it's a different way that it analyzes the incoming audio, and it's just more of a wider adjustment to your mix, so not so transient dependent in terms, it's not going to like suction out your transients as much. It's just going to do a wider compression. It's a it's difficult for me to explain how compressors work. It is for everybody, but the more further RMS version is on this input bus. Because the way that the templates work is that I've separated the audio into 2 input buses. We have input bus 1, which starts with a through track and goes through 2 neighbor tracks into a recorder. And then we have an input bus 2, which starts with a through track, goes to 2 neighbor tracks, and it goes melody on this side, drums on this side. And the last one is a master track for that master EQ. and for a master delay, which is just fun for beat repeats, and so that I can target the master mix with this track here and give us an 8-bar loop that we can use, which I demonstrated for you earlier. So these are kind of some of the main core features in the Techno Performance Mixer template, as opposed to the Ultimate Effects template and the Ultimate 2FF template, which I will get to shortly here. We're already like 25 minutes in, and I've only shown off a few things. These templates are super deep, and I have a lot of documentation on them. And on my Patreon, I'm constantly updating them. So if you're interested in getting in on this and like having some feedback and actually seeing that feedback get implemented into the templates, joining the Patreon or the EZBOT Discord is going to be where it's at. And I recommend you do that because it's a lot of fun. We have a great time chatting in the Discord. I have messages in the Discord coming to me right now as I'm streaming. So thanks for you all coming and hanging out here. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting with the templates, with the Octatrack, just working with Elektron gear. And if you're interested in lessons on any of this gear in front of me here, you can visit ezbot.live. That's my website. Or you can join the Patreon on the lessons tier if it's got any slots open. I think it's full though. Maybe it's got a slot open, I'm not sure. But you could check that out. But yeah, if you want to get lessons on this, or you want to take a lesson on the performance template and like really get deep on it, or have me show you how to make it yourself, you can check that out with me, one-on-one. I do it with a lot of folks. It's a good time. Are you hitting on us? Yes, you guys are really, really attractive. Very, very attractive folks. I can't see you, but I feel how attractive you are. So keep that in your pocket. Somebody thinks you look good today, and it's me. Yeah, you like them both? Oh, that's good. All right, so let's look at some more effects on the Octatrack or the Techno Performance Mixer template. Let's check out Crush. Here's a good one. I mean, every kind of effect you could possibly really need. I got like trance gates in here. That sounds really good. You want to see the trance gates? I think that's in this part. No, it's in build. The trance gates are really fun, and they're customizable. You can design your own trance gate right here. Go into the LFO designer and design trance gates. It's really easy to do. They sound freaking great. I love it. Nine and 10 and 16 in the Techno Performance Mixer template, they're always the exact same effects. This is always the resample track, so if you just want to do a loop really quick and start, messing with some stuff, like for instance, we have a recording on here already, right? If I just wanted to like take a bunch of elements out, and now I'm just gonna transition over to that, just for drama. Like what? It's so cool. So I had that 8 bars running, and I could just go in and start unmuting or muting elements, and I feel ready. It's like I went to a whole new track. We're in the same pattern, but it feels like a brand new track. This lets you do stuff like that. Yes, Transgate. Sponsor me. LaCroix, you could be as cool as DistroKid. This is your only freebie today, though. Bastards. All right, let's check out the party section. So the party section's more for drum and bass, not gonna lie. It's definitely more glitchy, and I love it. I have a lot of fun with it. These are the effects that I like to use at a live show because it feels like I'm playing the beat, because it grabs just chunks of the beat. I'll show you. This is a tape stop. LFO twist. One of my favorites is to do Daft Punk effect into the LFO twist, into a tape, into a beat repeat or echo freeze. Check this out. I love that combo. Here's sidechain pumping. It throws down some reverb on it too. So if you don't want to use a scene for sidechain pumping, you can actually just go into track 5, go into the LFO section and turn up the depth right here, and it will just start sidechain pumping. Check it out. You can do this always. And you can just program it right into your sequence, and it's good to go. So you could like have it saved that the depth is up here. But I just like being able to just turn it up when I want to. Anytime you feel lost, function Q, and just reload your parts. Okay, there's my DJ EQ. I don't know why it wasn't on that one part. Oh, here we go again. There's also this cool effect called Easy Drummer. Check this out. Oh, 140 BPM. That was a little messy. When you do stuff with delay effects and you move to the next pattern and it's at a new tempo, you know, be careful because it'll go bop, 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 bop. Let me show you the Easy Drummer though. Here it comes. It's a cool way to start a song. How's the screen centered feel versus left hand? Oh, if you're left-handed? I guess that is a disadvantage, I suppose. I mean, I switched my TB-03 over to my left hand, and this is one of those instruments that you're playing a lot, and I feel like I've gotten used to it. I don't think it's like a huge deal. I have a really, really bad left hand. Like, my left arm might as well just like, just sever the thing right off. Somehow my hand can still play my guitar pretty well, but like, I don't even, I feel like this thing is like foreign to me, like it's an alien's arm or something. And I think it's okay. I think you won't have any problems with it. And like, if you're having any difficulty, I think you'll move past them because the advantages outweigh the con of that difficulty, I think. I don't know. Just being honest here. How's everybody doing? This is kind of like my social thing for the day. I really just am so exhausted this week for whatever reason. It's something about, it's Seattle and here we go. Here comes the rain, and some people love the rain and all that. And I don't love the rain. I'm actively looking for places outside of Seattle just because I'm ready to get back to, I want permanent sunshine. Good. I'm glad you're doing good, Real. That's what I'm talking about. About you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you about me right now. Germany's pretty exhausting too. Is it? Come to LA. Oy, it's so expensive in LA, my friend. It's probably as expensive in LA as it is here. That's one of the problems. Very happy you just got your first analog synth. Hey, congrats. That's great. I only have a few analog synthesizers besides my modular, and I just sold a modular case and 2 Volteras today. Thank you to those who bought those off of me. Because I picked up the ALM 9U, which I'm very happy with. I think the bottom of it is a little janky, like the bottom of the case, and like they made some weird choices. I think the case could have been a little bit larger. I had trouble getting some dope for modules in there. There's certain spots in the case that I can't fit modules. Like if they're not like really shallow depth modules, they just don't fit at all because of like some designs that they did. Kind of like how IntelliGel made some decisions with their cases where I was like, what were you thinking? Like their palette case with the power strip on the top. That's like, makes me insane. I hate that thing so much. Like I love the case, but I hate that power strip. I hate it. I'm like, I got these big, my hands. I don't know. They're big, and putting those cables in that spot, man, my God, I hate that. Oh, cool. Is the 9U not too big for carry? I don't think it's too big, Kinga. I think it's dope. I think you should check it out. Got a pile of kittens on your lap? What's up, Jordan? Well, bring your kitten. Don't bring him over here, but I hope to see you soon. But I do really like the case. Yeah, dope for a random 60mm seep. Yeah, dope for modules are crazy deep. I'm getting derailed. I want to talk more about the template, but I do just love just chatting with everybody. We're gonna keep playing, or maybe we'll switch over to some new music. No, we're gonna keep playing with this techno stuff because I am into it. I actually considered for the stream today not doing Elektron at all and doing the M8 with the DB01. And just writing some techno on the M8 with the DB01 because I love the M8. I'm even considering buying one of the BRK editions just to have 2 of them again because I miss having 2 of them, and it's a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal. All right. What's left for me to tell you about with the Techno Performance Mixer template? It's my newest one. It's my current favorite one because I'm writing a bunch of new music in it, and it's just really exciting to feel like it really helps me write techno, for sure. These effects work on all kinds of music, but the other performance template is much faster paced effects. Like they happen quicker. They're not modulated over 8 bars. They're modulated over 4 bars. So you're going to just like, you can just dive into them like immediately. But of course, that's why there's also some effects that aren't auto modulated. So you can do it yourself if you want it to go over 8 bars, even in the 4 bar template. You can just, slowly crossfade like this. There's a bunch of different techniques. But the other template has stuff like live reverse and like some funny, like goofy effects. Maybe I even have that in this one. Let me see. Yeah, here's live reverse. The music's going in reverse now. Modulations. Oh, I love this. So this is new. This effect is only in the techno template. This is like for the end of the show. You're like, all right, we're gonna end it all. Here we go. You just let this go. You hit stop even on your Octatrack. just let the music die. Then bye, see you, thanks. Thanks for letting me play your hardware event. Bam, you're done. It's a great way to end. I even called it like the show ender or something like that. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. I need that effects list. There's so many effects. I can't remember them all, and every template has different stuff in it, which is why you need to buy them all, pick them all up, because they're all a lot of fun. Somebody says it could be interesting to talk about your track layout and how they play into the performance template. Sure. Is there a way of having permanent effects like reverb and performing the other on top? There is a way of doing that, and it's actually right here. I'll do both those things, Ludwig and Malyush. I'm sorry, I'm a stupid American, and I can't say your name well. But Malyush and Ludwig, I'll answer both your questions. This is the SHIK. This is the SHIK MIDI controller. I'm getting stuck on my brain's getting stuck. The SHIK MIDI controller, it's already pre-programmed. Mine is for all 3 templates. You download one SHIK template, and it gives you access to individual effects on the Octatrack. I'll show you. Here's a high-pass filter of just the left side, so just the drums high-passed. Here's a low-pass of just the drums. Right, this is all playing live. High pass of the right side, low pass of the right side. Then we have like reverb right here. That's the drum side. Reverb of the right side. So, with that in mind, you can use this on top of all the effects. And the way I have it set up in the template is that the effects are locked in. All the parameters are locked in. So no matter what you do here, when you do an effect in the template, it will still function the way it's supposed to, because it will just change the values from whatever you did here to the correct values. Awesome, right? So it just overrides what you did here. So if there's an effect that doesn't use the reverb, you can use the reverb on top of this. Depending on how this is set up, you'll have a different experience though. So, depending on what effect that you're using, you'll have a different experience, because sometimes the effect uses the reverb, right? So if you're trying to do the reverb on top of it, you can't do a reverb on top of the reverb. So you don't really know you'll have to try them out. Let's put it that way. But this is already designed. It's all ready to go, and it just works with the template. And it comes with the template when you download it, and there's instructions on how to install it and everything. The reason I chose the SHIK, and I will release the CC messages for other people who want to plug them into their own MIDI controllers, but the reason I chose SHIK is because this is an affordable, high quality macro controller, and macro controllers are unique. You can't find a good macro controller anywhere, honestly. The Fader Foxes, they're not macro controllers. They're very expensive, twice the price of this, if not more, for the Fader Fox controller, and it can't do 2 MIDI channels with 2 values at once. This can control 2 different MIDI channels with 2 values, with min-max on those values and inversions. So I can have this, like for instance, when I bring the low pass up, the low pass on the Octatrack is, you have to go from right to left to turn the low pass up. The high pass on the Octatrack, you go from left to right. So I had to invert this control. I can do that with the SHIK. So this is why this is good. Stuff like this that has multifunction control, and it's just a web-based HTML sysx updater. It's very simple to use. I keep telling people to buy this thing because it's cool. I don't even know if they still make this walnut version, but I love the walnut version. I got this from the SHIK manufacturer. I think he's working on a new one too that's going to have even more functionality. And when that comes out, I'm going to get that one and I'm going to program it to work with the Octatrack. So this is my go-to. It's what I recommend. It's also attractive. And I personally love when my music gear looks good. That part's important to me. It's also why I love this stuff. I think this is very attractive equipment. It's industrial. Feels good. It feels like it's going to last a long time. I don't like cheap shit. I don't like it when things feel cheap. I don't like it when they look cheap. Not cool. Not into that stuff. So many knobs though. So I'm thinking about making some like stickers. So I'm gonna have a stick. Designing a sticker. I want to have a sticker. I need to see if a sticker manufacturer will print one this long. But a sticker that goes underneath here, and depending on what template you're using, it'll say what all the effects are on every scene on a per part basis. So it'll be like red and all the effects. They'll be tiny little words that might be hard to read, but at least they'll be there. And you might just be able to remember them that way. So I'll look into that further once I design that. I don't know, maybe someone else wants to design it and send it to me, and then I can get it manufactured. Fabrique, hi Matt, thanks for your content. I will Patreon you again tomorrow. Why don't you like the rhythm? Like, I love the rhythm. No, I do love the rhythm because I'm using it with the OT and modular instead of GT. Isn't it the same? What's up, Ill Gates? What's going down, dude? How are you, man? No, I do love the rhythm. I do. I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing. It's one of my favorite pieces of kit. I got the Mark 1. I'll never get rid of it. Never, ever, ever. I'd rather have a rhythm over a mono machine or a machine drum because it's a more fleshed out device. And you can get them for super cheap. And the Mark II's sample. They're awesome. Yeah, I'm all for the rhythm. Rhythm's like a standalone music box. I use that in conjunction with my computer to get analog sounds, analog drum sounds into my computer because, you know, obviously it's a computer. It can't make analog. Can you imagine like a PC or a MacBook that's like, it ships with an analog synth built into it? That'd be amazing. That's, I don't know why that's so funny to me. Oh my God. That's such a good idea. Re-ranking all your modules. So this is perfect background. Oh, right on. Oh, re-racking. Yeah, ranking and re-racking. That's something that might happen together, I imagine. I just did the same thing. I got a second case that I kept because I sold one of my 7U IntelliGel cases this week, which I'm happy about because I needed to sell it. I can't have that many cases. And I got my IntelliGel 7U case is like, it's the groove box thing. I'm building a groove box in a case like I always do. This case that I have sitting in the corner here that you can't really see, you can see it right here. You know, this is the case, the 9U here. It is just got stuff in it. It's got like Moog stuff in it. It's got Qubit stuff in it. It's just got effects, vocoder, all sorts of stuff. It's just for grabbing sounds and sampling. But the other one is for trying to build like a groove box in a IntelliGel case, which is like, in my opinion, kind of a silly thing to do, but I keep doing it anyway. I can't seem to help myself. I'm sure we all kind of do it, right? Or that gets into modular. I think we all kind of end up doing that. It is indeed. Yeah. Thanks for coming by, Ill Gates. Tried 2 7-foot high server racks with 1,000 HP. Oh my God, dude. You've gone off the deep end with modular. The modular deep end. My dude. Half the fun is rearranging everything on modular grid. Half the fun is, yeah, I swear to God, that's like what the fun is with modular, is not even playing it, to be honest. The videos that I see, like the demos I see of people like upload their video of their modular stuff, and like, no offense to folks who upload the stuff of their modular, sometimes is good, but it's a real hit or miss thing. Whereas like somebody uploads this track that they made on like a Dig Attack or something, it usually sounds pretty good. You're just like, yeah, nice, cool music. You know, somebody uploads a modular track and you're like, this sounds like garbage. It sounds like hot garbage. And that's because it's missing, like, it takes an enormous rack to make an entire, like, to make a real track from start to finish without, like, there's some modules that lend themselves to it, like the Rosma simulator or that LXR drum module, and then a couple of voices in a sequencer. And if you have some send effects on a mixer, you can kind of emulate this setup a bit. But a lot of times I see folks, their stuff is just like, they're missing so many ingredients in their rack that it's just like, it's like they're I mean, they're still learning, of course, and I'm happy they're uploading. I'm not ever gonna write, yo, I don't like this in somebody's YouTube video. Like, I would never do that. I'm also not thinking that, but I am like, you know, this could use a little bit of massaging to get it going. You know what I'm saying? I love modular. It makes no sense. Always check what people make with something before you buy it. Yeah. I agree with that. Hi, Matt. I've been following your channel for a while. I have all 4 of these exact Elektron boxes and love your templates. Hey, thanks for saying that. And I'm glad that you enjoy it. What we talk about, wrong account. That was me. Oh. What's what we talk about? What's up, Jonathan? Good to see you, dude. And the other Jonathan. What's up, Jonathan? Jonathan. Yeah, I love modular too. I keep buying modular with like, I just got the Locutus for my Rosma simulator. A simulator. It's called the Locutus. It's obviously it's called the assimilator, and the expander, the MIDI expander, is called the Locutus. It's definitely a reference to Star Trek. Can we just get that out of the way? It's obviously Captain Picard, when he got assimilated by the Borg, they called him Locutus and assimilator. Come on. If anybody else hasn't put that together yet, I just did it for you. I'm not wrong. I can't be wrong. It has to be the truth. Right? Come on. My core. Stem Shade, what up? Yeah, modular escapes me. I don't want to build a cool glitchy effects rack. I do want to, yeah. Down on your list, though. Get along with modular live without your 3.0. Yeah, the ER301. That's where it's at, dude. What we talk about is telling the truth. The ER301 is really like, that's the missing piece of the puzzle for me in my modular system. We're going to get back to the templates here in a minute, because we've been talking just forever. But that's what this is about. This is Elektron talk, right? We're talking about gear. But the ER301, man, if you can get your hands on one, and they're so hard to get your hands on, and sometimes they have a little bit of some noise issues, kind of like the Mimeophone had. Mine had a really bad noise issue, in my opinion, but my buddy who I sold it to didn't seem to care at all, so I sold it to him at the normal price of an ER301, or a used price, or whatever, because now they go for like $2K. It's ridiculous. I'm paying $2,000 for a ear rack module. Not now, not never. I pay the original price though. Samwoo, what's up, man? Yeah, Zoya's a good one for that. The thing about Zoya is that it's actually much easier to make patches on the 301 than it is on the Zoya. Although the Zoya sounds better. I don't know, because it's got some of the effects in it are just designed by Empress, but they're harder to program because that node-based workflow, you can't see what's on your nodes. I have a Eurobro, like in my modular mess somewhere, but it's kind of a pain to program. It's not hard to understand how to program it, which is nice because you're just connecting nodes, and if you understand, some basic synthesis principles and mixing principles, you can design whatever you want. But the ER301 is just like, it's just thought of everything. It's so sick. Getting a Zoya, yeah, you're gonna have fun with it. Zoya sounds really, really good. Because of Empress, right? Anyway, let's get back to these templates. So we've been talking about the Techno Performance template. Let me do like a really short jam with it, and then we'll move on to the Ultimate Effects template, and then we'll talk about the 2FF template, which is the 2 free flex track template, so that you can play stuff on your Octatrack and play external gear and get access to the effects. You just lose the loopers with the 2FF, so you might, you got to pick that. Harry. All right, yeah. Take care, Harry. Harry's somebody I've been chatting with. Cool cat for sure. All right, here we go. I'm gonna play with pattern 3. Okay, so I don't know. Let me get your guys' opinion on this. I love this. So when I start on pattern 3 and then go to pattern 1 from pattern 3, it sounds so cool. But pattern 3 is something that I go back to. So the way I perform this song is it starts on pattern 3, plays one 8-bar loop through pattern 3, goes to pattern 1, and then I play pattern 1, then I transition to pattern 2, and then we end up back on pattern 3, and then I start bringing in all the elements on pattern 3. It takes like, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes to get there, so I'm not going to do that to you, but I just want to point out how good this sounds. I did it at the beginning of the stream too. I just love that. Like that, I feel like it's just a dope intro to a track. It's so much energy. Now we're in pattern 2. We're gonna get over to pattern 3. Now we're back over there. Those are some of the DN DNB effects. So hard. Like when I was trying to do with the noise and bring a kick in at the same time and change the cutoff, what was I thinking? Need 3 hands to do that. I'm just like, I don't know how I got so invested in trying to learn techno, but man, it is fun. It is fun to design. So the trance gates, you do want to start the trance gate at like right before the pattern resets because the LFO needs to sync. So now it sounds like way more on time. Let's go sidechain this shit. You can do it too. Get the Techno Performance Mixer template 1.0.2 on my Patreon or on coffee.com/EZBOT. Ta-da! It's pretty cool. I've been having a ton of fun with it, and I'm excited to share it with everybody. And like I said, I will release a much more concise, simple video for the Techno Performance Mixer template explicitly, which I will upload to YouTube this week. After I finish editing it. I'm about halfway done editing the video, and I want to add a little bit of flourishes to it and maybe add a couple more little tutorial chunks that I forgot to do during the initial recording of the video. But it should be very helpful for people who are trying to get into my performance templates, specifically with the Techno Performance Mixer template. So now let's switch over to the Ultimate Effects template, which has been fleshed out over many, many months. The Techno Performance Mixer template is in a very early stage. It is past 1.0, but it's still early stages of it, so there could still be some parameters that I don't like, some effects that aren't adjusted exactly the way I want them. As I play with it more, I'll tweak it. As I get more feedback, I'll tweak it, and eventually we'll have something like a 2.0 version where everybody feels like, oh, this is just perfect. Hopefully. But let's switch over to the other template. So I'm going to go over to some other music. And here it is. And once again, this will work no matter which template I load up because they all use this. So I am going to load up my other project with my other music on it. So this is the kind of stuff that I like to make too. Let's go to this drum and bass one. I think it's here. Or not drum and bass. Let's do this industrial track. This is the Ultimate Effects template, 1.5.2. What's cool about it is all the looping functionality. Let's start a loop up. You don't have to wait as long because it's 4 bars. So right now we're listening to a loop of the Dig Attack that I've recorded. Let's do a different one. So this is playing live, and this is looping. Now what I can do is I can go to track 8, hold track 8, and hit rec 3, or hit yes, and it's gonna record a loop of this side on top of it. My rate was adjusted. Whoops. So now I have this like weird loop, right? The dig attack doing some stuff, this doing some stuff, and it's looping. As you can see, you can get lost in the jam really quickly. All you have to do is have some music written and then run it into the Octatrack, load up the template, and you're just good to go. So what you saw was some record stacking. That's something that you can do in the Ultimate Effects 1.5.2. I recorded the left side, then I recorded the right side, and then I played them both at the same time. And so you can, I'll do an example of that again. Let's go to another track. Is it on bank 5? I really thought that my... Fucking goofy. What are these songs? Where is it? Here we go. All right, drum and bass. Part 4. Let's play with this. Let's record some stuff. So now we got that recorded in. It's so simple. Let's record something over here. Let's find something worth recording. Record that. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again because I screwed it up. I mean, my playing is terrible. Whoops. But you see what I did? I stacked the recordings. You can do it full improv. Tape stop. Bam. So this template is super fun. I mean, this is my favorite one. I love the techno one for playing techno specifically. But if I'm going to play like crazy drum and bass or electronica and stuff like that, this template's a lot faster paced. So the effects kick in way quicker. You can use them more often because they're faster. Whereas the techno effects, you're going to play more with those like high pass delays and a lot of like slower filtering as you're like doing these gradual buildups. What's cool is like you can start with like one of the effects as like an intro to a song. Like, I think we did this at the beginning, but I'll show you again. This is the same effect from the techno template. Like you could start a track that way. I can record that. So I just recorded that. And I crossfaded over to it perfectly. I don't have an effect like this. This is just me doing it manually, but this is sick. So half speed on the melodic side. Oh, that's so cool. I need to remember this. See how long you can just improvise. Improvise. As you get familiar with your Octatrack and maybe the template too, if that's what you end up picking up, you just keep making new shit live. Just keep evolving your pattern. Keep recording segments, twisting knobs, record a segment, twist some knob, record a segment, transfer over to that segment, change the rate, like filter the recording, all sorts of cool stuff that you can do with it. Keep doing this, going back and forth, flipping over your patterns, flipping over your samples, and it will just go on forever. You could potentially, you know, play 2 songs that last a really, really long time or whatever, you know, or one track. You could play one track for like 15 minutes if you got creative enough without anybody realizing that you've been playing the same pattern, because you just kept improvising and improvising and improvising and improvising. And while you're doing all the improvisation, you can have your headphones plugged into your headphone jack here. You know, just make sure your mix is set to listening to the cue, and then you can cue out the end of chains. You could cue out track 3 and track 7 and listen to the live audio being fed into the Octatrack, or you could cue your actual inputs. You hold Q and select these inputs, and you can listen to the machine's raw, and everybody else is going to hear what's being processed through the Octatrack. That way you can queue up stuff and listen to this stuff, which is what a DJ would do. And that's one of the things that DJs have gotten right, very much so. And all the stuff that I'm doing in the templates is emulating what good DJ gear can do. So we're just taking your Octatrack. It can write music, but it can also be your DJ effects mixer, which is what I use it for. And my God, if Elektron would just give me a Mark III with better DSP and at least 48K sample rate, 4816, I'm fine. I think everything should be floating point at this point. Everything should be 32. It's almost 2024. Like we're learning quantum mechanics. Got quantum computers, but I don't have, you know, floating point sample rate in my hardware machines. Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all with me here? Didn't watch the whole live, but do you teach how to build the templates? I do. a reel. I do teach how to build the templates. I even have a video that teaches you how to build the templates, but I do that private instruction. I will teach you how to build the template from scratch for sure. I'm not going to teach you how to build 64 effects. So it would take us, I mean, if you're willing to work with me that many lessons, then yeah, I do that. But I'll teach you how to get it started and give you the basics so that you understand how to build it, and then you can design it yourself and for your music explicitly. Bill Gates isn't quite that, but Easy also has a 2 flex track version that could swap 2 static tracks and rip. Load in 2 tracks or 1 and split. Yes, that's the next, where you can just put the master of a finished track in no stems and shred. So you can do that, Bill Gates. And I'm going to show you that. That's the next template. That's the 2FF template. It's this template exactly, except for no looping. So that really fun looping feature that we love, that I love it because I like improvising. That feature goes away, and in its place, you get 2 Octatrack flex tracks for sampling and processing, and then you have some free scenes for creating scenes for those sample tracks. So you can have a scene that like reverses it or whatever. You can chop it up, and it'll be a part of your performance. So that's great. Before we go into the Ultimate Effects 2FF template, I need to do my DistroKid sponsorship. So this is important. DistroKid does pay for these streams, and we do appreciate them. And they do have something cool, something new to check out. So let's go DistroKid. Yay, yeah, here we go. We love DistroKid. Let's go ahead and do the thing. Oh wait, I don't even think I set this up to wait a second. Let's give me a second while I prepare it. Maybe I didn't even get it ready in time. Da 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 da. Why am I singing McDonald's? I don't know. Why you gotta hate on me? Why is it not letting me edit? What's going on? Oh, I could do it over here. That's why. I'm such a fool. DistroKid, da 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 da. We already did that. Where is it? Chrome. Yeah, this is it right here. Okay, we got it. All right, check it out. All right, we're going to do the DistroKid sponsorship. Got to sit through a commercial for like 45 seconds, all right? Just bear with me. They're really cool, and I really do appreciate having some revenue coming into my home through my live stream. So very, very grateful for DistroKid, and I do use them. So, I really don't want to be sponsored by something that I don't actually like or use. So check this out. So there's a new thing that they've got going on, and it's this playlist idea, and it's kind of weird and cool. And I'm definitely going to use it once I have once I record these techno bangers I'm working on. And you can get contact info for playlisters, but this is only for the top tier subscribers on DistroKid, but it lets you just get the contact information for all the playlisters. You can send it out to 20 different top end playlisters, send your tracks out. They let you send 20 out a week. Yeah, check it out. Who is this for? Artists and labels who want their music added to playlists. What do I get? Email addresses and Instagram usernames of people who run big playlists. This is such a strange thing that they're doing, but I also think it's really cool and it should be taken advantage of. If you have access to this, you should use it. You have to be a DistroKid with the ultimate plan. I'm sure it's super cheap. DistroKid doesn't cost nothing. It's like the cheapest thing. If you're like really into making your music and getting it out there, just get a DistroKid account. Like, come on. It's the easiest way to get your music on the streaming platforms and to just share it in general and to listen to it in your car without having to SoundCloud it or something. SoundCloud stuff kind of goes nowhere. Won't playlist owners just get spammed by everyone? Great question. No, the playlister is only available to the ultimate plan members, which is a relatively small group. Hopefully not after this amazing ad that I'm doing for them. Hopefully it'll be a huge group. Members are limited to 20 contacts per day. Oh, per day. I thought it was per week. Wow, per day. So every day you get 20 contacts you can spam your music out to without feeling bad about it because you paid for the service. That part's pretty great. Do these playlist owners really want their contact info to be public available? Yes, they've publicly posted their contact info with their playlists, presumably to solicit communication and pitches. So you don't have to feel bad about it. This is one of the newest features that DistroKid offers Playlister. They're really trying to help people get their music listened to. And I appreciate it, to be honest. It's hard. Like, if you don't know where to find these playlists, and playlists are kind of like, when it comes to techno, drum and bass, all that kind of stuff, playlists are kind of where it's at to get your music heard. So I'm going to take advantage of it, and I hope you do too. And don't spam me, because I'm not a playlister. Pitching music to playlist curators is a nightmare. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't really know much about it, except for that DistroKid offers it, but it's not really something I've ever done before. But I should. I'm all about, for me, like when it comes to this music, because I have my singer-songwriter stuff, which is like so personal to me that I never end up releasing it, but I think it's great. Like, I don't know, if you think this music that I do at all is any good, like my singer-songwriter stuff is on the same, you know, it's as good, maybe better if you like singing and songwriting type stuff. But it's so personal to me that I have a hard time finishing it. Electronic music, I feel like I just finish it. I'm like, whatever. I'll make another one. You know, I'll just make another song. You know, I just do it, and I have so much fun. And I get so excited about the jam on hardware electronic music. And like, I get so excited about the gear. I don't like, when I play my guitar, I'm not like so stoked about the guitar. I don't care what guitar it is all that much. If it's got good action on it, I'll play it. You know, I'm happy with it. I don't care about effects in guitar all that much. I really don't like effects on guitar. I like chorus, reverb, and delay. And that's it. And vibrato. Or tremolo. I like tremolo on guitar. I think it sounds good. But those are the only effects I like, and I don't like them to be overwhelming. Like, I just like the sound of guitar chords. I don't know. That's just me. But I love crazy effects when it comes to this stuff. I'm all about it. I just love it. All right, so let's check out the Ultimate Effects 2FF template because it's fun. Oh, distortion. I'm an idiot. You're right, Bill Gates. What am I talking about? Distortions, fuzz pedals. I do love distortion and fuzz pedals, overdrive, all that stuff. Yes, 100%. Those are the ones that I feel like you can collect. You can collect a ton of reverb, delays, and distortion pedals, and just you can have fun collecting them, but you really only need one of each. And if you have a good cab, you may only need reverb and delay because maybe you have a really nice overdrive that doesn't like cut out the audio for like a microsecond, like some of them do, which totally sucks. Give it to me dirty. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Do these templates work on the Mark 1? Yes, they do. So the Ultimate Effects template that I'm showing you right now, this one in particular works the best on the Mark 1. The Techno Performance template has a harder time on the Mark 1, and that's because of the way that, because it does 8-bar quantized recordings, and it's not easy to do 8-bar quantized recordings on the Mark 1 because you don't have a Rec 3 button. And the Rec 3 button is a requirement for quantized 8-bar recordings, for live quantized 8-bar recordings. So you have to be able to hit Rec 3 to capture the loops. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it can be done. You just have to, or you can forego you only lose some of the effects. You can still just use yes and just let it record until it runs out of recording memory. So like you can still use the Mark 1. It works just fine for like transitioning from part to part, but effects that like play in reverse and stuff like that, modulation effects, those aren't going to work. So you only lose a couple of effects by using the Mark 1. So not a big deal. So I guess to answer your question, yes, it works on the Mark 1 just fine. All right, let's go into Ultimate 2FF. Where the hell is that? Oh, there it is. Ultimate Octatrack 2FF. So this is the last one I'm going to show you. And after this, I'll let you go. And then I'm going to go walk the dog. Okay, so like I said, it's not at the same tempo. 160. What's going on there? me singing to you guys. As you can see, it's got all the same effects as the Ultimate Effects template. The only difference is that these are flex tracks for sampling. So if you know how to use your if you know how to use an Octatrack, go to track 4 and track 8 and do your sampling and do what you normally do on the Octatrack. It's a piece of cake. So if you want to run these effects, see how this is already queued up and ready to go through the queue effects? If you want to run these sample tracks into the effects template, because they're at the end of the chain, the effects chain ends on track 7 and goes out. And then this just gets added to it. So if you want to process these through your effects, you do have to use some more cables. So here's some Modbang balance cables. Look at how cool these are. Just check this out. More commercials from me. Look at them. Well, they're not edible, but you can try and eat them if you want. Aren't they? Isn't it just a gorgeous looking? It's not on auto. I don't know why I'm putting it up there. It's not on. It's not going to automatically focus. Anyway, let's plug them in. So what you want to do is you want to take your cables, take your Modbang cables, plug them into your Q outs, and then you're gonna queue up those tracks, and you're gonna run it into whatever machines. Hopefully your machines have audio inputs. Let's unplug the 303. We'll just go into the Digitact, and we're gonna run those tracks back into the Octatrack. And you have to have your Octatrack set on Q mutes track. That's an important part of it. So Q mutes track, that's in your project settings, system, personalize, Q mutes track. You want to have that enabled while you're doing this. And then we're going to queue up these tracks. And now they're muted, but they're going through the Q output, and the Q output's going into the Digitact. So now we should be able to load up some samples. Go to the audio folder. So that's going through here. So here we go. We're able to hear this. It's being processed through the effects. It's going into the Digitact. So now I can do audio from the Octatrack and process effects and use these machines, and it will all run through the same mix, through the compressors that are built into each one of the inputs, and do all the things. This is the Ultimate Effects 2FF template. It's freaking sick. Check that out. Just auditioning sounds is fun. It's a piece of cake, right? It's really not that hard. One thing that you will note, you do actually want to have your Q up to plus 12. Because if you look in your Octatrack's manual, if you ever do that, which you should. Oh, that's much better. I should turn this light towards me. If you look in your Octatrack's manual, and like I'm saying you should, it'll tell you that when you queue a track up, the output Q is actually a volume level of 100, of a track level at 100. We're talking this level. This level. This part right here. Even at its max value, the Q output is a lower volume than the original volume. And I found that if you add plus 12 to the Q, it makes up for that. Give it a shot. So that's what you want to do. And that's it. That's the Ultimate Effect. It's the same as the other template, except for you do the things that I showed you. No recordings, but you have access to the samples, and you just do it on both these machines. That's how it functions. It's a piece of cake. It's super fun. And for those who want to still be able to sample into their Octatrack or load up full stems, or as Il Gates mentioned, the 2FF stands for 2 free flex tracks. Il Gates. As Il Gates mentioned, like DJing something, you can totally do that. So you could have You could just load full songs into here and then just run the full songs through the effects. And then you could just bring your Octatrack. You could use the arranger and just have it arrange songs and then just play with the effects and DJ on your Octatrack using my template. So if you want to just do some DJing, this works for that too. It does all the things. It'll clean your room if you need your room cleaned. You probably do need your room cleaned. I've seen your room. And it's dirty. And your synths are dirty. What else do I have queued up? We have something. I'm hearing it twice. There we go. Make sure your Q is your Q mix needs to be set all the way to Q. Anyhow, it's a whole lot of fun. I hope that you enjoyed this demonstration of all the templates. I know it was just like all over the place, and that's kind of how live streaming is. But I do have some dedicated videos for these templates. I have dedicated videos for the 2FF. I have dedicated videos already for the Ultimate Effects template. And now, coming this week, I'll have a dedicated video for the Techno Performance Mixer template. And if you want to see it right now, just go to the beginning of the stream, because I go over a lot of the template over the first 45 minutes of the stream. But without further ado, I am going to go. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go walk my dog. The sun actually came out, which is like an instant depression cure for me. Not that I'm like super depressed, but I did wake up today and I was just like, I'm not feeling it today. I don't know why. Just is what it is, but if you guys want to get your hands on this template, it's patreon.com/EZBOT, where the templates, all the templates are available on EZBOT. It's $4 to join my Patreon, and you get all the templates. If you go to Ko-fi, if you go to ko-fi.com/EZBOT, they cost more than that, significantly more than that, because because you're not a part of the Patreon, so that's just how it is. So, but you can get them on Ko-fi. If you're not into subscriptions, you can go on Ko-fi and purchase my templates and get your hands on some of my hard work that I've put into. I've been working on these for years, many years. Started out in 2020, I think or 2019 was the first one I released, and it was just one bank of effects, and I shared it with some folks, and just people started using it quite a bit. And so I put a lot more energy into it, and now it's become like my go-to for playing live shows. And I see it all the time, people using the performance templates at live shows here in Seattle. So, where am I going with that? My point is that it's a lot of fun, and that other people have found it fun too. And so maybe you'll also find it fun. I am digressing super hard. So this is definitely when I have to go, because my brain is clearly... John Wayne would be proud. John Wayne's awesome. His music is so good, and he's such a cool dude. I really like John Wayne. If you guys don't know John Wayne, or check out Il Gates. If you don't know Il Gates' music, I'm glad he's hanging out here too. Or check out everybody's music. Click on their people that are chatting right here. Go to their YouTube channel. Subscribe to them. We need to support each other. There's something that the community is missing, is support. Why are people not just subscribing to each other's patrons? I'm like on 40 people's Patreons. Why are we not subscribing to people's YouTube channels? Who cares? Give them a subscription. Why aren't we liking their videos? Why do we thumbs down people's videos? I understand if they're like being like racist bigots or something. It's like, yeah, thumbs down those losers. But like, somebody made some music, they're sharing it with you. Give them a thumbs up, man. Shit. Help each other out. Let's be each other's friends here. We need it. The world is chaos. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. All right. Do something nice for somebody else. Give somebody some love today. My name's Matthew, aka EZBOT. I'll see y'all next week. I love you. I love you.